Hello and welcome back to another video or audio if you're watching in an audio format. My name is Justyna. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to talk about the September 2025 monthly horoscopes for all signs. So September is a very important month here in those final months of 2025 because this is when we've got two eclipses taking place in the sign of Pisces, a lunar eclipse, and then a solar south node solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. So we will discuss it in this video. You can find the timestamps in the description box down below this video in the comment section as well. So thank you very much and let's begin. Hello Aries and welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. So here, September 2025 is a month that is going to feel like a turning point in your life. Partially because Saturn is changing signs. It's retrograding back into Pisces, into your 12th house. Partially also because we're about to enter eclipse season. And partially because Mars, your ruling planet, is very active this month. So here we begin with Saturn retrograding out of Aries back into Pisces, and this is happening on September the 1st. Since Saturn first entered your sign earlier this year in May, you've been getting a certain degree of a preview of what responsibility, structure, maturity are going to look like in your life over the next couple of years, especially between 2026 and 2028. And with Saturn stepping back into Pisces, the focus shifts once again into your 12th house themes energy. So that's the area of your chart that is deeply connected to endings, healing, but also your inner world. So you might feel like you need to tie up some loose ends or perhaps confront patterns you thought you had already moved past. This is a pause because the universe is probably asking you to finish what needs to be finalized, closed, completed before you can fully step into this next chapter of your life when Saturn returns to Aries in the early months of 2026. Now, around September the 5th, Mars, your ruler in Libra, connects with Jupiter in Cancer by a tense square. So for you, this plays out across your relationship area of your chart, Mars in Libra, and your area of your home, emotional security, stability in your life. So here, Mars in your 7th house is stirring up action in the sphere of partnerships, relationships, both personal or professional, while Jupiter in your 4th house is expanding things around family, home, or even real estate. And this square can bring tension, an obstacle, if you will. So perhaps maybe someone in your life is pushing too hard, or perhaps you feel stretched between your goals, your objectives, your dreams, your hopes, and family and home responsibilities. So whatever the scenario, the key here is balance. Don't overextend yourself, and at the same time, be mindful of making any impulsive decisions during this time. Now, then on September the 7th, we have a very powerful moment. Of course, this is the very first eclipse of this season. So a lunar eclipse in Pisces, a north node eclipse in Pisces happening in your 12th house. So this is huge because lunar eclipses can bring endings and closures, and in the 12th house, This is about releasing what's been hidden, secret, or perhaps emotionally draining, and you might be letting go of a self-sabotaging pattern, a toxic attachment, or even the weight of an old story that's been holding you back. This eclipse could feel very heavy, but it's clearing space at the same time. But here, pay attention to your dreams, to your intuition at this time, because Pisces energy brings symbols. It speaks through symbols overall, not logic. All right, so as we move forward mid-month, we come to another important Mars moment. On September the 16th, Mars and Chiron connect by an opposition. So here Mars is still in Libra and Chiron is in Aries, in your sign. And this could feel very raw. Mars in Libra highlights relationships, while Chiron in Aries points directly at your personal inner wounds, especially around independence, self-expression, being seen, being valued. So something someone says or does around this time could touch a sensitive spot. But remember, Chiron teaches through discomfort. So in a way, this is an opportunity to see how far you have come in healing your confidence, your identity wounds as well. Now, then we arrive at the solar south node solar eclipse in Virgo happening on September the 21st at 29 degrees. So here, this one is huge for you because it falls in your 6th house of health, of work, of daily routine. So here, new beginnings here are karmic, are long-lasting. So you might be stepping into a new job, perhaps into a new role. Perhaps this is about readjusting or adjusting your daily habits, routine, responsibilities, or perhaps making a commitment to a health-related change. And because Saturn is tightly involved with this eclipse, you're not going to get away with health measures. Whatever begins now has weight. It's about responsibility. It's about consistency and maturity. Now, right after the eclipse, Mars moves into Scorpio on September the 22nd. And this is happening in your 8th house of intimacy, of deep transformation, shared and joined resources. So this is a powerful placement because your ruling planet is in a sign it's very strong in. Because remember, Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And Pluto is the modern ruler. So still, it also enters territory that involves other people's money, debts, inheritances, shared resources as well. So you will feel the intensity rise. Now on September 24th, Mars squares Pluto. And this is really, really powerful. It can bring breakthroughs, but also conflicts, especially around money, around business, around partnerships, or perhaps authority figures. So generally, try not to force your way through around this time because it could backfire. Now, on the 22nd, the Sun moves into Libra. And this lights up your relationship area of your chart. So here, as of the 22nd of September, relationships, contracts, partnerships are very much in focus. Whether romantic or business, here, this is the highlight of Libra season overall. And the Sun, as soon as the Sun moves into Libra, it forms an immediate opposition to Neptune in Aries. So in those very, very early degrees as well. So generally on the 23rd of September, there could be a certain degree of confusion in the air. Not everything will be clear. By the 24th, we've got a very supportive trine to Uranus and Pluto coming from the Sun. So this suggests that breakthroughs and empowerment are very, very much possible once the confusion created from the Sun and Neptune opposition settles. All right, so here, as you can see, September is a time of closure, new beginnings as well. We've got the eclipse in Pisces, which is a clearing out time, especially of some old emotional baggage, while the Virgo solar eclipse is setting you up for a much healthier, more aligned life moving forward. So thank you so much, Aries, and let's have a look at the next sign. So that's Taurus. Taurus, welcome. This month is very, very significant for you, especially in terms of your creativity, self-expression, and also that need to find a healthy balance between your desire for fun and joy in your life, and also finding the time to deal with the mundane activities, responsibilities as well. So we begin on September the 1st as Saturn retrogrades out of Aries and moves back into Pisces. Since May 2025, Saturn in Aries has been traveling, highlighting the 12th house of your birth chart, stirring some deep hidden fears, but also karmic lessons. So with Saturn moving back into Pisces, your focus shifts to your 11th house. So that will be your friendships, groups that you belong to, your long-term goals and plans and hopes. So this is when you might find yourself revisiting some commitments that you've made to your friends, to some communities, for example, that you're a part of. But at the same time, you might be also asking yourself whether your goals, your dreams, your hopes, your ambitions, your commitments, they still align with the person that you are becoming. Now, the big spotlight for you, of course, comes on September the 7th, and this is when the lunar eclipse in Pisces occurs. This is a north node eclipse as well, so here it's about something connected to our future. So this lights up your 11th house. It might bring closure or a transformation to a friendship, to some group projects, or perhaps your role in a certain group community, for example, that you belong to. Now, some connections may fall away during this time, or perhaps you might feel that perhaps it's time to release, let go of some old dreams that no longer resonate in order to make space for a new one or new ones. So overall, the message here is not to resist the change, because this eclipse is overall helping you refine where you truly belong. And that's really powerful. Now, mid-month, we get a little bit of tension as Mars in Libra and Chiron in Aries connect by an opposition. So for you, this activates your 6th and your 12th house. So the area of health and work and rest are in the spotlight. And you might feel this really strong need to break a cycle of overworking or neglecting your health, your well-being. So whatever the scenario, pay attention to how stress manifests in your body, because this is your chance to rebalance. Then on September 21st, the solar eclipse in Virgo activates your 5th house. And let's not forget, this is the South Node solar eclipse. So even though it's connected to new beginnings, very often here something is eclipsed literally out of our life in order to align us better with our future, our future direction, our path. So the fifth house is connected to creativity, to romance, to children. So this is a powerful new beginning. So something fresh is emerging here, a creative project, a new relationship, or perhaps a shift in how you connect to fun, pleasure, entertainment. But Saturn's opposition means that this new beginning comes with responsibility. If it's a creative venture, for example, it will also require discipline. If it's love, it requires maturity. Finally, Mars enters Scorpio on September the 22nd. So that's your seventh house of relationships, partnerships. So this energy can bring intensity in your partnerships, but also passion, transformation, and potential conflict, especially if old wounds are left unaddressed. Now, at the same time, of course, when Mars is in Scorpio, Scorpio energy connects by a square with Aquarian energy, and we've got Pluto in Aquarius, so we've got a square that is exact on the 24th, and this is very powerful because it may test your trust in someone that is close to your heart. Transformation is possible, but it will require honesty and depth. So, as you can see, September is very much connected to experiencing perhaps a wake-up call, so to speak, about your relationships, connections, friendships, especially friendships and dreams. Perhaps for some, this could be a clearing away, a phase of some old friendships and dreams, especially if you feel like they no longer serve you any good. But at the same time, simultaneously, you're opening up new space in your heart for a new connection, for love, for joy as well. And the eclipses are helping you to realign yourself with your future direction, with your path. So thank you very much, Taurus. And let's move into Geminis. So Geminis, welcome. Welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. And this month is huge. It's huge for you, especially when it comes to career, visibility, your home life, and especially since we've got the eclipses that are activating these areas of your birth chart. All right, so first of all, we start with Saturn retrograding back into Pisces, into your 10th house of career and public life, and that's happening on September the 1st. So since May 2025, when Saturn entered Aries for the first time, this year you have been probably feeling that perhaps Saturn was testing your ambitions, your visibility. Perhaps you had this inner urge to commit to something of a long-lasting nature. As Saturn returns to your 10th house, this energy in a way reminds you of the responsibilities connected to your career path. And perhaps you thought you could skip some steps along the way, but Saturn is here to make sure that you lay a very strong and solid foundation for your future. Then we've got Uranus. Uranus stations retrograde in your sign on September the 6th, and this is huge. Uranus has only entered Gemini, and it will come back to Gemini next year much more permanently, but this year we just get a little flavor of this transit, and this retrograde will slow the pace, and it's generally it's about adjusting. It's your chance in a way for you to adjust to the new identity shifts that are unfolding in your life. So you are reinventing yourself, but it won't happen overnight, because this is your time to pause, slow down, and in order for you to integrate, understand the direction that you're taking. in your life, because big shifts are coming for Geminis. Of course, we've got Uranus in Gemini, and that's massive. Of course, the eclipses on Pisces and Virgo axis, they connect with Gemini placements by a square. So there is a need to shift and let go of what no longer serves you. All right, so the first eclipse of the month of the eclipse season comes on September the 7th with a lunar eclipse in Pisces activating your 10th house. This is a career-focused energy. So generally it's a North Node eclipse as well. So it's about your future, the upcoming future. So something in your professional life might be reaching a culmination, a turning point, perhaps even ending. Perhaps you may shift direction, complete an important project. Perhaps you might decide that your current path is no longer sustainable, for example. And since Saturn is also close to this, Saturn is in the same sign as this eclipse is taking place. The changes may feel heavy, but at the same time necessary. So it's overall about responsibilities, about reputation as well. Now, the second eclipse, on the other hand, is heavily influenced by Saturn because it connects to Saturn by an opposition. So we've got the South Node solar eclipse happening on the 21st in the sign of Virgo, activating your 4th house of home and family foundation. So we've got some new beginnings here on the horizon for you. Perhaps a move, a major renovation you've been planning for quite some time or dreaming about for quite some time. And this could also indicate a shift in family dynamics. But here Saturn's involvement means that these changes will require commitment. You might feel really stimulated to take on a much greater responsibility at your home, or perhaps you might feel really motivated to build a more stable foundation for yourself at your home. So here a move, a relocation, a major renovation are very much possible. Now Mars enters Scorpio on September 22nd. This is in your 6th house. The 6th house deals with your daily life, daily routine, your health. So this is a good time to get organized overall. And on the 24th, we've got a very important square of Pluto as well between Mars and Pluto. So this energy could also push you perhaps into some kind of implementing some shifts at your work, especially if you feel like things are out of order, out of control. Now, be mindful also of any impulsive reactions, dynamic reactions, because this energy could also indicate potential power struggles at your work, in your everyday life. Or perhaps this energy could also make you kind of realize what affecting your health on a daily basis, whether it's too much stress, whether it's perhaps not having a healthy balance between your work life and your personal life, or whether this is connected to perhaps a poor diet, health habits, for example, as well. So whatever the scenario here, it's not about forcing anything. It's about channeling this energy into something constructive, something transformative as well. All right. So overall here in September, there is a clear indication of some major career shifts, changes, maybe endings, and some new beginnings in the family sphere, in the home sphere. So you are reinventing your life this month. It's a big month for you, Geminis. So thank you very much. Now let's move into Cancers. Cancers, welcome. So here we've got a very important month. And this month brings some really big shifts in your beliefs, in your life philosophy. So on September the 1st, Saturn retrogrades out of Aries. It moves back into Pisces. And this is a shift that is happening between your 10th and your 9th house. So we're moving from the career area into the area of your worldviews, of your travel, for example, anything to do with learning as well. So you might feel like you need to finish some studies, some projects. Perhaps you'll be reassessing, reevaluating your life philosophy. Perhaps you'll be realigning your path, your life direction in some way, in one way or another, before moving forward professionally. Now, the lunar eclipse in Pisces happening on September the 7th is especially important for you. It is happening in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, publishing, your beliefs as well. So something here is ending, maybe a course of study, maybe a philosophy that you have outgrown, or perhaps even a chapter connected to personal growth, personal development. So this eclipse overall clears the way for a new vision of your future. So this is huge. Then on September 21st, we've got another eclipse. This time it's a South Node solar eclipse in Virgo. And this eclipse will be taking place in the opposing house. So that's in your 3rd house. The 3rd house deals with our communication, our mindset, our learning capabilities, our community. So this is the start of a new chapter in your life, especially in how you use your voice. Perhaps you might be starting a new blog, a new podcast, a new writing project. Perhaps you might be launching a new business, a new website, a new idea, or perhaps you might be finding a new way of connecting with people from your local environment, local community. So here Saturn is heavily involved, and this means that whatever starts now will require patience, will require responsibility, but at the same time it will have a long-lasting influence, impact, if you will. Now on the 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio, and this is happening in your 5th house. The 5th house deals with romance, children, creativity, creative self-expression. So this can feel very energizing, very passionate as well. So it's a great few around 6-7 weeks to engage in things that make you feel that you're very passionate about overall. But just bear in mind, on the 24th of September, Mars connects with Pluto by a square. And this indicates that generally you need to be mindful of how you communicate, especially in love. Be mindful of any interactions in the creative sphere, any collaborations as well, because there is a tendency towards having or experiencing power struggles. So there is a lot of intensity on this day. Transformative energy here. Transformation can be very much intense, but at the same time very rewarding. So it's all about being open-minded. So all in all, this month is generally about expanding your mind, about moving away from beliefs, life philosophies that no longer serve you. But at the same time, the eclipses are really, really pushing you to grow, move forward as well. All right, so thank you so much. And let's have a look at the next sign. So that's Leo. Leo, welcome. We've got the September monthly horoscope here today, and this month is for you connected to your financial area of your chart. So you might be making some major financial decisions, investments, for example. So it's a good month to manage your finances effectively, consciously as well. We begin on September the 1st. That's when Saturn retrogrades out of Aries. It moves back into Pisces. So for you, this shift of energy takes place between your 9th and your 8th house. So Saturn has been in your 9th house of Aries for the last few months, since May. And now it is moving back into your 8th house of shared and joint resources, transformation, deep energies, intimacy. So generally what this means is that any obligations, any responsibilities connected to finances, debts, long-term commitments, they might resurface in the upcoming months. So what this energy is about, Saturn retrograde, the planet connected to structure, order, discipline. Saturn here retrograde in this area of your chart wants you to take a more of a practical, more disciplined approach to how you manage your finances, how you manage your partnerships as well. All right, so on September the 7th, we've got a lunar eclipse, the very first eclipse of this eclipse season, and this is a lunar eclipse in Pisces. This eclipse is taking place in your 8th house, and this is a very powerful moment of release, especially around finances, around shared assets, for example, any emotional, financial entanglements. So perhaps this could be about finally repaying debts. Perhaps this could be about cutting some financial entanglements, for example, letting go of some old fears connected to vulnerability, for instance. So it's not easy, but it's deeply, deeply healing, deeply cleansing, deeply transformative energy. Now on September 21st, we've got a solar eclipse in Virgo. It's a south node eclipse as well. So it's very often about letting go before something huge and more in alignment comes into place and play. So this activates your second house of income, stability, self-worth. This is a major new beginning for you financially speaking. This activates your area of finances. So perhaps you might start a new job. Perhaps this could be about a brand new mindset in terms of how you manage your finances, how you budget your money. Or perhaps this could be about building new ways of creating income, generating income, attracting wealth, for example. Now, Saturn forms a very strong opposition to this eclipse. So with Saturn so strongly involved, whatever begins now will require discipline, good and strategic planning, maturity. So whenever Saturn is involved in whatever way, it's about building something lasting, stable, not expecting. It's not about expecting an overnight success. So patience is required overall. Now on September 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio, activating your 4th house of home and family matters. So generally here in the weeks following, in the 6-7 weeks following this transit, the beginning of this transit, you will invest a lot of energy into your living situation, into family matters, property decisions, decluttering, gardening, renovating the house. There's a lot of energy here for implementing any shifts and changes in this area of your life. But here on the 24th, as soon as this transit begins, be mindful of any potential power struggles at your home, especially if old family dynamics or some home-related issues resurface around this time. So here, something to generally remember and watch out for. All right. So overall, as you can see, this is a very, it's a month where finances, financial security, stability is very much highlighted and emphasized. And right. So let's have a look at Virgos now. Thank you very much, Leos. Virgos, welcome. We've got a very busy month coming up for you. A big month, similarly to March. March was quite big as well with the lunar eclipse in Virgo. This time around, it's a solar eclipse, so it's even bigger. So in September overall, you are entering a really significant new chapter of self-discovery, of growth. The month begins with Saturn retrograding out of Aries and back into Pisces. So that's on September the 1st. And this is generally when Saturn will leave your 8th house of transformation, deep and profound energies, healing, shared and joint resources, and it will move back into the seventh house of relationships, partnerships, and unions. So if there is any unfinished business in your relationship or in your partnerships, whether romantic or professional, this is the time here, those final months of 2025. This is the time when Saturn brings this amazing opportunity to fix whatever has been left unfixed, unresolved, because Saturn could bring it back to the surface. So any responsibilities, obligations around relationships cannot be ignored in those final months of 2025. This is very, very important. Now on September the 7th, we've got the very first eclipse of the season. It's a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening in your seventh house of relationships, unions, contracts. So it's a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are often connected to closures and endings. And this could indicate an important connection ending, or perhaps you might realize what's working and what isn't working in your relationship, in your partnerships, for example. So overall, there are some relationships relationship shifts on the horizon. And this eclipse overall wants you to clarify what balance, harmony, commitment truly mean for you. Now on the 21st of September, we've got a huge event. It's a South Node solar eclipse happening in Virgo in your first house. So this is in a way a rebirth period time for you. This is happening at 29 degrees of Virgo. So this eclipse marks a karmic new beginning in your life path, in your life direction, in your identity, in how you present yourself. And Saturn's involvement means that this is not superficial. You are stepping into a new chapter of your life. You are redefining yourself in ways that will last for a very long time, for the upcoming years. So it might feel heavy, but at the same time, it can feel very, very empowering. Now, as we end the month, Mars enters Scorpio on September the 22nd, and this highlights your area of communication, learning, local connections as well. So it's usually a very vivid and an active time when Mars is in the third house. But at the same time, be mindful of your speed during this time. Remember to display parking tickets. And at the same time, be mindful when working with sharp objects as well. Now, on the 24th, as soon as Mars enters Scorpio, it will form a square with Pluto in Aquarius. So this energy could create potential power struggles or arguments in conversations. So this is a day to use your voice constructively because it is very, very powerful. So be mindful of your words, of how you share your message with others, not to come across too overpowering All right, so that's what I've got for you today, Virgo. So as you can see, the September 2025 horoscope is mainly about your relationships and versus you. So you are reinventing yourself this month, but at the same time, this month could also indicate that it could be like a wake-up call. It could reveal, the energies of this month could reveal what's perhaps been hidden and unclear about certain connections in your life. So thank you very much. Have a great month, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Libras, and welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. So this month is about healing. It's about having a good rest. It's about preparing for a new cycle of your life that is just around the corner. So we start with Saturn retrograding back into Pisces on September the 1st. And Saturn is moving from your 7th house of relationships into your 6th house of health, work, and daily life, daily routine. So here, responsibilities, obligations regarding your health, your well-being, your habits may resurface in those final months of 2025. And here, Saturn retrograde in Pisces acts as an energy that generally encourages you to commit to much healthier, more sustainable ways of living. Now on September the 7th, we've got a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening in your 6th house of everyday life, everyday routine, of work, health. This energy brings closures, breakthroughs, revelations related to your work and health. And this could be connected to perhaps leaving a job or some kind of conclusion and to your job situation, for example, or perhaps you're ending a chapter in your work sphere, for example. This could be also connected to some major shifts happening in your routine, in your lifestyle. Perhaps you might find yourself letting go of some unhealthy habits as well. Generally, this eclipse creates space and room for you to step into a more aligned daily lifestyle as well. Now on the 21st, we've got another eclipse. This time around, it's a solar eclipse in Virgo, a south node eclipse as well. So very often with the south node eclipse, a solar eclipse, we need to let go of something in order for those new beginnings to truly begin. This eclipse illuminates your 12th house, and this eclipse overall signifies a more subdued, introspective period for you. This could indicate a karmic renewal in your inner world, in your inner life. Perhaps you might start a healing journey, for example. And this could be about letting go of some past burdens. And this could be about dedicating yourself to a healthier life overall. Now, this eclipse connects with Saturn by an opposition. And this adds a serious tone to this eclipse, because this also indicates that your inner world holds as much significance as your external reality. Now, if you want to quit smoking or if you want to quit some unhealthy habit, this is a month for doing so. Now, you might also experience insomnia, especially between the 7th and the 22nd of the month throughout the eclipse season as well. So perhaps some lavender oil could be helpful during this time to help you sleep and relax. Meditation, spending time in nature as well, or with your pets. Now, Mars enters Scorpio on the 22nd of September. This energizes your 2nd house of income, of finances, finances, resources, the 2nd house, self-worth. And watch your spendings and outgoings in the 6-7 weeks following this, the 22nd of September, because very often when Mars is in the 2nd house, money just seems to go out of our bank account very, very quickly and easily. Mars in the 2nd house gives us a strong need for spending, for buying, accumulating wealth as well. And this is a good transit for those who work in sales. It gives you more kind of aggressive and confident vibe when it comes to dealing with money overall. Aggressive not in a positive sense, not overly aggressive, but in the confident sense, I guess. Right, so here the only thing to definitely watch out for in September with this transit is the square between Mars and Pluto, because this could indicate some intensity, especially around some financial decisions you might be making around the 24th. So avoid power struggles over money. Instead, try to direct this energy towards transforming your financial foundation in your life. So overall here, with the activation of the 12th house this month, this is a month to slow down. And an amazing month also for having these major lifestyle changes, for simplifying your life as well. So thank you very much, Libras. Now, Scorpios, welcome. Right, so this month is a month of eclipses, and it's a really vivid, active month for you, because here, as we begin the month on September the 1st, Saturn moves back into Pisces. So this shift occurs between your 6th and your 5th house. So the 6th house, where Saturn has been staying as of May 2025, and in the area of your everyday routine, everyday life, your habits, daily responsibilities. Here, Saturn has been influencing this area of your life, and it's moving back into your 5th house of creativity, romance, personal joy on the 1st of September. So in those final months of 2025, you might find yourself revisiting, reassessing, reevaluating any responsibilities connected to your children, to any creative projects, to your own business, for example, to your romantic relationship, for instance, and also ways in which you allow yourself to experience joy, pleasure, happiness as well. Now, here, this retrograde is also good for dealing with any unfinished projects, unfinished businesses as well. Now, on September the 7th, we've got the very first eclipse of this eclipse season, and that's the Pisces North Node eclipse, lunar eclipse, occurring in the same house, where Saturn, now retrograde, will be present in those final degrees, and this eclipse is at 15 degrees of Pisces. So this indicates a very significant period of closure, of completion. It could mean that perhaps that you'll be finalizing, concluding a creative project. Perhaps you might be experiencing some major shifts in your romantic relationship, for instance, or perhaps for some it could indicate the end of a romantic relationship if you feel like this isn't it. Or perhaps this could be also about it's about kind of eliminating, releasing some kind of obstacle that stands in the way to your ability, perhaps to just have fun, enjoy life in some significant way. It's a good time for healing of the inner child with the 5th house activation, working with any tendencies that block you from being your authentic self, your empowered version of yourself. So while emotionally intense, this process is very much essential for you, for your growth, for your renewal as well. Now, as we move forward on the 21st of September, we've got solar eclipse in Virgo happening in your 11th house. So that's your friendships, your community, long-term dreams and goals for the future. So this eclipse, it's a South Node solar eclipse. So it marks the beginning of a karmic chapter here with a South Node energy in your social life. This is also when new social circles may emerge, or perhaps your role within existing groups could evolve. It's generally a time to set new goals, an amazing time to set new goals and hopes for the future, to create a vision map, especially here related to your future goals, future plans. And given Saturn's influence, because Saturn will be opposing this eclipse, these new connections, collaborations, commitments are likely to be serious, and they will require dedication rather than casual involvement. Now, on September 22nd, on the other hand, Mars, your traditional ruler, moves into Libra and into Scorpio, into your first house, into your sign. So this definitely brings a surge of energy. It will bring a surge of energy, assertiveness, confidence. It's a powerful transit that can really, really feel very empowering. And it can make you very determined as well in the around 7 weeks following the 22nd of September. However, the only thing I wanted to mention here while we are in September horoscopes. On September the 24th, Mars forms a square with Pluto in Aquarius, and this indicates potential power struggles, especially in communication, especially in interactions with others as well. And generally, this period here around the 24th of September may also bring potential confrontations or challenges with others, especially if this energy is not channeled in the productive way, if we use it in a forceful way, because if we use it in a productive way, it's an opportunity to generally to channel this energy into something very meaningful, very transformative. So try to use this time to confront and resolve any issues that may emerge around this time, and because it can generally make you feel much stronger, much more self-aware as well. All right, so as you can see, September is a really deep month, of course, with the eclipses and with Mars moving into your first house, which will feel very energizing. All right, so thank you very much, Scorpios. Let's have a look at Sagittarius now. Sagittarius, welcome. And welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. We start with Saturn retrograding back into Pisces on September the 1st. So this shifts your focus from your 5th house of creativity, self-expression, romance, into your 4th house. The 4th house deals with home and family, emotional security and stability. So this period overall may bring some obligations, responsibilities, unresolved issues at home to the surface. And this is generally likely to happen in those final months of 2025, because in the early months of 2026, Saturn moves back into Aries, where it will stay until 2028. So overall here, as I've just mentioned here with Saturn retrograde in your 4th house, this energy could bring some unresolved dilemmas, issues at your home, within your family dynamics to the surface. And this energy generally prompts you to reinforce your foundations, to establish stability, to address any unresolved family, home-related issues, matters, before pursuing larger goals, much bigger dreams as well. Now on September the 7th, we've got a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and this energy affects or influences more likely your 4th house. Generally, eclipses often mark some really significant moments in our lives, and this one may signal closures, endings, or perhaps transitions within your domestic environment. Possible changes as well that could involve perhaps moving, relocation, some family shifts, or perhaps something connected to your roots, where you come from. Now, because it's a lunar eclipse, of course, that's why. And these completions, generally, these events, they generally prepare the ground for new beginnings, for brand new beginnings. Now on September 21st, we've got another eclipse. So we've got 2 eclipses in this eclipse season. It's a solar eclipse in Virgo that activates your 10th house of career, reputation, public identity as well. And this eclipse overall, it symbolizes a major, fresh, new beginning in your professional life, professional world. So you might find yourself stepping into a new role. You might find yourself taking on different responsibilities, for example, at your work. Or maybe this is a brand new direction in your career path. Now, Saturn forms an opposition to this eclipse. So Saturn's influence overall underscores the need for discipline, patience, but also a steady effort, because it also promises that whatever that you build now, and especially here, if you build it with patience, discipline, determination, it can be something long lasting. It can create a lot of stability, fulfillment in the professional area of your life, in your public life, in your life direction. Now on September 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio. That's your 12th house, and the 12th house deals with our subconscious mind, our inner world, healing energies, and this transit may feel very draining at times and isolating. As generally, your energy might generally feel like it's turning. You are turning inward, but it also presents an opportunity to confront any subconscious fears, to heal some old wounds, to also release some heavy emotional baggage. However, on September 24th, Mars connects with Pluto by a square. So this is the very first challenging alignment with other planet here in Mars journey in Scorpio. So here it could indicate potential tension on the inside within you. Perhaps some inner conflict, some hidden conflict. So generally during this time, be cautious of engaging in any unnecessary discussions that could lead to arguments, power struggles. This is definitely a day to exercise, to go and spend time in nature, to engage in activities that help you relax. So you need to channel the excess of this negative, intense energy into doing something productive, something enjoyable and calming. Especially if you feel like you generally, if you feel angry on the inside, then definitely engage in activities, physical healing that can help you to de-stress, relax. But overall, this month is a very, very empowering and it's a month of growth in many ways. It's a month of where career and home play a huge role, because this is where the eclipses are creating these major shifts. So thank you very much, Sagittarius, and let's have a look at Capricorns. Capricorns, welcome. Welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. So this month generally focuses on personal growth, personal development in many ways, your knowledge, learning as well. So here on September the 1st, Saturn begins its retrograde journey in Pisces. So it retrogrades back into Pisces from Aries. And this generally prompts, this is about a shift overall, a shift of energy, because we are moving from the area of your home, emotional security, stability, into your area of communication, learning, your immediate environment. So this shift of energy may bring some kind of renewed responsibilities connected to your local connections, community, your sibling relationships, anything to do with any courses, learning activities, for example. This energy, because with Saturn, is all about structure, determination, consistency, patience. So this energy wants you to prioritize and to be more organized, to be more effective, efficient with your work, with your studies, with whatever that you're doing connected to the third house energy. So communication, learning, your involvement within your community, for example. But at the same time, this is an opportunity also to improve your communication skills, to improve your writing skills, for example, to return to any unfinished projects that perhaps you left unresolved, unfinished before Saturn entered Aries in May. These final months of 2025, this is a great chance for finalizing these ideas, goals, projects. On September the 7th, we've got a major eclipse eclipse cycle, I would say. So the very first eclipse of this eclipse cycle, it's a north node, and a north node eclipse, a lunar eclipse as well in Pisces. And this eclipse is happening in your third house, which we've just discussed. And this eclipse, it's a lunar eclipse as well, so it's not necessarily about new beginnings. It's about culmination of a cycle connected to learning, writing, communication. So you might complete a project during this time, especially here a project that you've been working on. Perhaps you might resolve an ongoing issue with your siblings, with your neighbors. Perhaps you might release or perhaps let go of a way of how you express yourself, how you express your creative urges. So something that generally doesn't resonate, doesn't serve your growth. Perhaps you want to change your communication style. For instance, if you think like you swear too much, perhaps you want to swear less. Perhaps if you want to speak more eloquently, then this is a chance also to work on these tendencies, themes. Or perhaps this could be also connected to some major project that you will be finalizing, releasing as well, even a website, for instance, as well. Now, on the 21st of September, we've got a solar eclipse in Virgo activating your ninth house. It's a south node eclipse as well. So very often with a south node energy, there is that karmic undertone connected to the eclipse. And the ninth house deals with higher education, travel, philosophy, belief systems as well. So overall, this eclipse marks a potential karmic new beginning for you. And this could be a new course of studies, for example. Perhaps you will start teaching. Perhaps you might publish your work. Or perhaps this could be about a brand new life philosophy. Saturn's involvement here, influence, if you will, during this time truly emphasizes the seriousness of this change. It highlights that whatever that you work on, you need to commit to it truly with patience, determination, strategic planning, because it can lead to lasting personal development, themes, activities, some worldview shifts as well. And this is quite huge. And on September 22nd, we've got Mars, the planet of action, drive, motivation, courage, moving into Scorpio. And Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And this energy activates your 11th house of friendships, of social networks, aspirations as well. So you've got a boost of energy here in your area of long-term goals, community involvement as well. However, on September 24th, as soon as Mars begins to establish itself in the sign of Libra, it forms a square with Pluto in Aquarius. And this could generally indicate a possible conflict with a group setting or anything to do with perhaps a friend. So whatever the scenario, whatever challenges that may possibly emerge as a result of this energy, they likely serve as opportunities to reevaluate and reshape your future ambitions, goals, objectives. And if you feel like this energy is really overwhelming you, definitely try to release it on doing something physical, spending time in nature, something that brings happiness and relaxation, I would say. Thank you very much. And let's have a look at Aquarius now. Aquarius, welcome. Welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. So here, it's a very important month. We've got the eclipses here this month. And this month overall brings a major focus on financial stability, security. And we start with Saturn moving into Pisces on September the 1st. And this shift occurs from your third house of communication, learning, immediate connections into your second house of your income, possessions, or values. So here, this shift of energy generally gives you this amazing opportunity to reassess, reevaluate, review your financial priorities, your spending habits, your relationship with your finances, your sense of security, stability, self-worth as well. So during this time, you might feel a very high pressure, so increased pressure, or perhaps a sense of responsibility connected to your finances or sense of security. And this energy is overall prompting you to adopt a more disciplined approach to managing your finances, resources. And this is also about reaffirming your core values. What are your values? What do you stand for? Now, on September the 7th, we've got the very first eclipse of this eclipse cycle. This is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, occurring in your second house of finances, resources, and income. Eclipses overall, especially, eclipses, they mark endings and beginnings, but here we've got a lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipses, they signal conclusions of a cycle related here, especially in your case scenario, to your earning potential, to your financial support systems, to self-esteem patterns as well. And this could manifest as closing a chapter on a particular job, or perhaps letting go of some unhelpful financial habits, or perhaps it could be about gaining clarity about what financial security truly means to you. Now here, so this is generally an influence that will last until the end of 2025. Now, later in the month, on September 21st, we've got a solar eclipse taking place in the sign of Virgo. And this is occurring in your 8th house of transformation, intimacy, debts, shared and joint resources. So this powerful eclipse marks potential new beginnings in areas that require deep emotional or financial transformation, sharing as well. So this would be, for example, perhaps this could indicate that you'll be entering new partnerships. And this could be also about some shifts, changes connected to joint ventures, finances that you have with others. This could also indicate that you're embarking on a healing journey that is connected to perhaps emotional or financial burdens. So overall, the eclipse emphasizes themes of regeneration, of transformation, and it's generally urging you to evaluate what you need to release or perhaps reevaluate, especially in your approach to intimacy, shared asset, shared and joint resources. Now, so this is huge, but at the same time with the eclipses, we need to look at the bigger picture here. And of course, in September, we've got the activation of the financial houses for you. So very often with the 8th house activation, there is a certain transformation in life. Especially there is this strong inner need to find more spark in the area of life that lost its spark and purpose. Now, simultaneously, at the time of this eclipse, Saturn forms an opposition to this eclipse. And this is a huge symbolism that indicates that responsibilities and commitments connected to shared finances or perhaps some financial entanglements, emotional bonds, will come into focus at this time. So you might be dealing with some challenging energies, situations, power struggles, but whatever the scenario, whatever that occurs around this time, it will require patience. It will require determination. It will also require you to demonstrate maturity in order to navigate these situations, these energies effectively and efficiently. So this could indicate that you might have to make a very important decision around this time, or perhaps that you might have to renegotiate a certain deal, for instance. Now on September 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio, and that's your 10th house of career, public life, public image, your ambitions, your goals, your outside world. So this transit overall gives you a massive boost of motivation, of drive, of assertiveness into your public life, professional life, growth and development. And you might find yourself more eager, more motivated, more driven to pursue new opportunities, to take on leadership roles, for instance, to push forward with some long-term goals. However, remember on the 24th of September, Mars forms a very tense square with Pluto. And this is a very heavy energy because both these planets rule Scorpio, and they are so-called the malefics in astrology. So they represent heavy and heavy energies, but that when they connect by a square, it could bring some potential power struggles, conflicts, or some intense competitive energies. So this energy needs to be channeled constructively, and instead of forcefully doing something around this time, focus on reshaping your career path, or perhaps generally try not to engage in destructive conflicts, things that don't lead to anything effective, fulfilling. All right, so this is what I've got for you today. So a great month for letting go of any outdated money mindsets, for example, money habits. And there is a big transformation happening this year. So definitely allow yourself to slow down and to pause in order to truly understand the path that you're on. Thank you very much, Aquarius. Now, Pisces, welcome. And welcome to your September 2025 monthly horoscope. So it's a very significant month for you, of course, because it marks a very important period of a profound transformation, but also personal growth. Now on September the 1st, Saturn moves back into your sign, into Pisces. And this retrograde will influence your life until pretty much the end of this year. So the reason for that is because Saturn will remain in Pisces until the early months of 2026. It will still be in Pisces until the last day of 2025. So this retrograde motion is in a way a reminder of the responsibilities, of the lessons that you've been working on since Saturn initially entered Pisces in early 2023, in the first quarter of 2023. So you might feel a heightened sense of maturity, or perhaps a deeper sense of awareness of what is limiting you in your life. You might be more aware of your strengths, of your weaknesses, for example, because Saturn's influence here generally encourages you to take a more disciplined approach to your self-development. It's about solidifying your foundations. It's about understanding that growth often requires patience, persistence, and determination. And this is really important to remember here with Saturn's influence. Now, on September the 7th, we've got a very, very powerful eclipse, the very first eclipse of this eclipse cycle, or season, I would say, not cycle, season, occurring in Pisces at 15 degrees on the 7th, in your first house of your identity, or personal physical appearance, personal expression as well. This eclipse overall is about generally connected to letting go of an old version of yourself. You are reinventing yourself this month. Perhaps letting go of any outdated beliefs about who you are, who you should be. Perhaps you are letting go of any patterns that no habits as well, addictions that no longer serve your growth. So you might experience a sense of transformation in how you present yourself to the outside world. This is about this having the strong need to embrace a more authentic, more empowered version of yourself. This is also a time when you might also let go of any habits, any attitudes, self-perceptions that have been limiting your potential. This is about making space for new ways of being. Now, following that, on September 21st, we've got the second eclipse of the month. It's a South Node solar eclipse. So solar eclipse is about new beginnings, and lunar eclipse is about the culmination of a cycle that already started 18 months prior. So here with a South Node eclipse, very often we also let go of generally some kind of theme or energy in order to build something new. Because we've got these new beginnings happening here around the 21st of September in the area of one-to-one connections, whether romantic relationships, business partnerships, or perhaps important unions, collaborations. So generally, the solar eclipse in Virgo on the 21st indicates some new beginnings in this area of your life. So you might find yourself signing new contracts. This could be about moving your relationship to the next level. And this is about having these really strong realizations and about your existing commitments, relationships, but those are who are very close to your heart. And given Saturn's involvement during this time, Saturn forms an opposition to this eclipse. These new developments, ideas, goals, projects here, collaborations, partnerships potentially, are likely to be very meaningful, long-lasting, but also possibly karmic. It's a South Node energy. So whatever the scenario, this energy really encourages you to build on solid foundations, on mutual growth as well. Now on the 22nd of September, we've got Mars moving into Scorpio. So here, this is your 9th house of travel, higher education, philosophy, belief systems as well. So overall, this transit will influence your life for the overall more or less 7 weeks following the 22nd of September. And it indicates this really increased, first of all, strong desire for expanding your horizons, for exploring new places, for learning new skills, for diving deeper into spirituality, philosophy as well. However, something to watch out for is the square with Pluto happening on the 24th of September, because this could indicate potential conflicts connected to your beliefs, to your travel plans, for example, to any legal cases. So these challenges, whatever that occurs around this time, these are opportunities for transformation. So instead of clashing over any differences or anything that occurs around this time, try to use this energy to challenge and at the same time perhaps refine your worldview, because this can lead to a really significant personal growth, personal development. So overall, as you can see, September is a month of deep transformation for you. You are realigning yourself, your relationships with the direction that you should be heading, and at the same time you're stepping into a more, or you've got an opportunity at least to step into a more authentic, more empowered version of yourself. So thank you very much, Pisces, and all the best.